Hi, I'm Mark from Mark of the Cyberbeast, and this week's episode we'll be talking to you about the best Tesla apps to help accessorize your vehicles. Now, many of you know I'm a 35-year truck owner, but I've only had my Cyberbeast since June of last year. But now my wife has had a Model 3 Performance for 6 years now, okay? When we first got her car, we just used the Tesla app. We weren't aware that Tesla had APIs for other applications to use and integrate. So, early on, we used an app that we're going to get to in just 1 minute. But I was introduced to an app in one of the Cybertruck groups, I should say, and it's one called Sentry Pro. It's a nice little app, but all it does is alert you when your Sentry goes off. So if someone's near your vehicle, it'll give you a little notification on your phone. Okay, but that's all it does. Not a great fan of that. There's better ones out there. The one that we've been using for years is called Tessie, T-E-S-S-I-E. Now the Tessie app has been around for a long time. It does a lot of things. It does most of what your Tesla app does, plus quite a bit more, mostly with information and reporting, okay? Now it's a pretty low fee considering all you get, and guess what? Those alerts for the Sentry that I told you about with Sentry Pro are part of Tessie. So why pay for an app that just does one thing when you can get an app that does a hell of a lot more, okay? So what we're gonna do is I did a screen record of me utilizing the Tessie application, showing you some of the features it does. Now we're gonna do another video on the computer screen where I'm gonna record the web browser and everything you can access and see on the computer screen, because there's some things I really can't show you on the Tessie app. Like for instance, with the software updates that Tesla has for Cybertruck and for FSD, it goes into detail with everything, with all the different versions, previous and the one coming up. And when you click on it, it gives all the details a lot easier in the screen to read because it's a big computer screen, okay? But the web app does a lot of the same features, but the mobile app is real nice because you're always on the go. And you can customize it too. So we're going to show you all about that app. There's a couple other apps out there that I'm aware of, but honestly, I've been using Tessie for years. You can add multiple vehicles. So for those of you out there who've got multiple Teslas in your home, you can have all your cars on here. And some of you may already have the Tessie app, okay? And that's great. But we're going to go out and detail this for the people who don't. And I want to make my case as to why you should be using this application, because it's going to improve your knowledge of your vehicle, your information you gather, and it's going to get you those alerts to make sure no one's messing with your Tesla. So we're going to go for a deep dive, so stay tuned.
Okay, so when you open up the Tessie app, you'll have your cars there. On the top portion, you'll see 2 dots. You can swipe right and left to change vehicles. Mia's my wife's Model 3. We do not have any information on her car set up, so there's no data. But on mine we do, so we're going to focus on Mark of the Beast. Now, if you click on the 3 dots there at the top, it'll bring you to the controls. This is your controls section. This is where you toggle on and off your different items, like I just did with Valet. I toggled it on and off. And again, going back to the main screen, right where the icons are, it's the 3 dots. You click that again, and you can click on anything else. For instance, you can click on your horn honk, okay? And go back, and maybe you use that horn honk a lot, and you want the icon there at the screen. So what you can do is you can go add that to the screen by clicking on the cog in the upper right. That's your settings. Slide the slide bar on the honk over to the right, and on your main screen you'll see the honk has been added right there across the top. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see several other boxes and features. Here's your climate. Now we have interior climate on. That's why it's 96 inside and 73 outside. The cabin protection is on. Okay. We'll go back to that. You can look at your battery and see the phantom drain. And wow, that climate control is eating up that phantom drain. So I'm going to go into climate, click on cabin protection, and I'm going to click on off, so I can reduce some of that phantom drain on my battery. Your tires, it shows your PSI of all 4 wheels, just like it has in your screen. And your schedule, in case, like for instance, in my case, when not to charge because of high rates. You could also set it to precondition certain times. Now the next screen is your drives, and this has a history by default for the last 7 days. You can go longer. Shows a start and end of your battery charge, battery life, where you went from and to and what times, and just a scroll through list right here. You also have the option for map, which shows your black and white map with all your stops, and you can click on topography and change it to your traditional view map if you want to see colors, just like you would see buildings. You can change it to, for instance, 30 days and expand to the additional drives that you've made. And it'll show your stops where you've been, and then your analytics. Now your analytics gets a little geeky, totally get it. Shows all your energy used, electric cost, and because I put in the wrong kilowatt hours for what I'm charged, these numbers are a bit skewed. This is probably more along the lines of what it costs in Europe. But it will compare fuel cost, how much I've charged, total number of drives, etc. Any efficiencies, the distance, energy used. I can export this to a CSV file if I really want to drill down with the analytics. Pretty cool if you want to spend the time on it, but really it's just some good visual representation. Now, the next is going to be the charges. So it'll show you what you charge from and to and what times. And you can scroll down further, show your idles. This is where you've idled and not really gone anywhere. Then you've got activity for all your activities in the last 24 hours. And it will show your timeline, your commands, and your Sentry notifications. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It shows the map if you want. Again, you can toggle to the topography view or the black and white mode where you've stopped along the way. But also it'll show you your Sentry, times your alarm went off. It shows your battery used, usable battery left, your range, and any energy remaining because of your phantom drain. It takes that consideration as well. Your odometer and your usage. How many miles have you been driving lately? Okay. Your temperature inside and outside, etc. If you were charging, it would show your power, amperage, and voltage, but we're not charging at this current time. So you can get some good information from here. And these are your commands. This is your turning your honk on and off, right? Like we just did, turn the valet on and off. Those are your commands and all your histories of that. Okay. So right here again, it's showing just a list in the last 24 hours of your timeline. And next is going to be your alerts. Now the cool thing about this is it's got some really cool features to turn on, and then there's some you probably don't ever want to turn on, right? You probably don't need to be alerted when you start or end a drive, but you may want to get an alert if the kid is using the car over a certain speed. Maybe you want to be alerted when the charge ends. Okay. Maintenance. This is incredibly cool because it lets you know when you need a tire rotation, when you need your brake fluid checked, etc. So all of your maintenance will be alerted to you from the app. You don't have to remember when you have to rotate your tires or anything else like that. And that's just me clicking the horn again because I now have the icon on my desktop there of Tessie. And going back to the battery, again, just showing you all the different details it has. The coolest feature of the app is actually in the battery section. If you click in the upper right, the heart, that is the heart health, your health of your battery. It shows you what the total battery life is, any degradation, what the capacity is for kilowatt hours to charge, the maximum range you can go, all the information about your battery and the health of your battery that is in detail right here, the number of charge cycles, the average number of charge cycles you get off of a battery. All designed right here, and again, all exportable to CSV if you want to go ahead and do that on it. And it shows you the number of miles it can go, etc. But the cool thing is the phantom drain. Now, a couple other things you're going to see on here when you scroll. Obviously, it's got your address, but also in your settings, your different fleet or fleet costs, right? Or your projections of how much things cost. Again, these numbers are skewed because I put in the wrong kilowatt hour cost, but you can really dial this in and see what your car is saving you if you came from an ICE vehicle. Okay. Now the next thing you're going to see here is integrations. I didn't realize, but You can integrate your Tesla with Google and Alexa, but here are some other Tesla apps we mentioned at the start of this episode. I'm not a big fan of the other apps. I think Tessie is really the best one out there, but it integrates with the rest. And this cool thing is your different updates for FSD and Cybertruck. We're going to review that in another episode because that actually goes into detail and you want to do it from your computer. That status, by the way, lets you know from Tesla any of the services that may be down from Tesla. Okay, but again, going back to those updates on FSD and Cybertruck, it's just a really cool in detail information on that. And again, this shows your home information. If you had a work address, you can save your work address as well. I just have a home address. This goes into the cost, has your home. You saw the two triangles there. It's my wife's car and my car. Gets all the detailed information, the ability to sign out of the app if you ever want to sign out of it. But it's really a full featured app. It's been around for years. Your connectivity, you can disconnect this from your Tesla account if you want. Maybe you're tired of using it. You can disable tracking. Maybe somebody doesn't want to be stalked. Okay, maybe you're going through a divorce or something like that. So you do have control over the vehicle. At the very bottom, you've got some information like, for instance, firmware alerts. All the different devices like a door open, geofence, etc. Your door open especially, that's an actuator that lets your computer know that the door is open, the door is closed, etc. So these are just all firmware alerts. Again, things you can export to a CSV and drill down. I'm not sure how useful it is, but it's there if you want it. Then also too, at the very bottom, you got all your information. You got your VIN number, vehicle name, where it was born, in a sense, where it was made, Texas or California, your mileage, for instance, your odometer on it, your odometer reading. You can track your referrals on here, get your referral information just like you can from the app. So what you'll find is you'll use this just as much, if not more, than your Tesla app. For many people, it replaces it. It really does, because it does everything your app does and then some more. It doesn't mean you need to uninstall your Tesla app. You still need that Tesla app, but this will definitely drill down a lot further. Again, with the Tessie app, it uses the same mapping technology as Tesla does, so you can always change to the map and get a visual representation of where you are, or simply go to the black and white mode and zoom around of where your vehicle is, etc. And you can always track your vehicle when it's in motion, lets you know how fast you're going, what's on the radio, etc. So again, this app is probably the best one out there. Okay, it'll even explain, for instance, what's an idle. You go in here and it'll show the idle, and when it's idling, is it using battery, and how much battery is it using? Okay, so again, this is the app right here with really the settings and other information. You've got your help, you've got your FAQs, and everything is right here. Your QR code for your referral, and this is the referral for Tessie. Okay, so if you want to refer people to Tessie, you can get money off of your subscription with Tessie. So definitely use our referral link below when you sign up. And the cool thing is, this is my wife's car in the garage, and this is my truck on the outside of the house. And that's it. This is a Tessie app in use.
And that's it for this week. I appreciate you going for this deep dive for the Tessie app. Just click on the link and go ahead and download the app and get it for your truck or your other Teslas, or both, because it is a great app. And as always, hit like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear your feedback. I want to see your likes, and I want to see you again tomorrow on Mark of the Cyberbeast.